Welcome to English Podcast and Tech. I am Charles. In the last episode, we met Steve Wozniak, the engineer who built Apple's first computers. Today, we meet his partner, the man who took Wozniak's technology and showed the world why it mattered. Steve Jobs did not invent the personal computer. He did not write the code. He did not design the circuits. What he did was something different, and in many ways, harder. He looked at technology and asked a question nobody else was asking. Not, does it work? But, is it beautiful? Does it feel right? Will it change how people live? This is episode 16 of The People Who Built the Digital World. Today we tell the story of Steve Jobs, one of the most influential people of the 20th and 21st centuries. Let's begin. Today's vocabulary focuses on design, leadership, and vision, the three areas where Steve Jobs changed everything. We have 9 words today. Let's go through them. The first word is design. Design means the way something looks and works, the combination of form and function. Steve Jobs believed that design was not decoration. Design was the product. A beautiful, simple, intuitive design was the difference between a tool people loved and one they tolerated. Repeat after me. Design. The second word is intuitive. Intuitive means easy to understand and use without needing instructions. It feels natural. Before Apple, most technology was complicated. You needed a manual to use it. Jobs insisted that Apple products should be so intuitive that a child could use them without any help. Repeat after me. Intuitive. The third word is launch. To launch means to introduce a new product to the public for the first time. Steve Jobs turned product launches into theatrical events. When Apple launched a new product, the whole world watched. His presentations became as famous as the products themselves. Repeat after me. Launch. The fourth word is ecosystem. An ecosystem is a group of products, services, and platforms that work together seamlessly. Apple under Jobs created one of the most powerful ecosystems in tech history. iPhone, iPad, Mac, iTunes, App Store, iCloud. Each product made the others more valuable. Repeat after me. Ecosystem. The fifth word is revolutionary. Revolutionary means causing a complete and fundamental change, not just an improvement, but a transformation. Jobs used the word revolutionary carefully, and when he used it, he usually meant it. The iPhone was not just a better phone. It was a revolutionary device that changed the entire mobile industry. Repeat after me. Revolutionary. The sixth word is comeback. A comeback is when someone returns to success after a period of failure or absence. Steve Jobs made one of the greatest comebacks in business history. He was forced out of Apple in 1985. He returned in 1997. And led the company to become the most valuable in the world. Repeat after me. Comeback. The seventh word is simplify. To simplify means to make something less complicated, to remove everything that is not essential. Jobs' design philosophy was built on simplification. He believed that the best design was the one with the fewest elements. Remove everything unnecessary, and what remains will be perfect. Repeat after me. Simplify. The eighth word is presentation. A presentation is a formal talk given to an audience, often with visuals, to explain or promote something. Steve Jobs was the greatest product presenter in the history of technology. His keynote presentations at Apple events were studied by business schools, marketers, and designers around the world. Repeat after me. Presentation. The ninth word is legacy. Steve Jobs' legacy is one of the most debated in the technology industry. a man who changed the world, but whose methods were often controversial. Repeat after me. Legacy. 9 words. Design, intuitive, launch, ecosystem, revolutionary, comeback, simplify, presentation, legacy. Now let's hear his story. The year is 1955. In San Francisco, California, a boy is born. His name is Stephen Paul Jobs. He is adopted at birth by Paul and Clara Jobs, a working-class family in Mountain View, California. Paul Jobs is a mechanic. He teaches young Steve to work with his hands, to take things apart, understand how they work, and put them back together better. Steve grows up in the neighborhood that will later become Silicon Valley. Technology is everywhere around him. At school, Steve is a difficult student, intelligent, but easily bored. He questions authority constantly. He wants to know why things are done the way they are. At Homestead High School in Cupertino, Steve meets Steve Wozniak, the electronics genius we met in the last episode. They become fast friends. In 1972, Jobs enrolls at Reed College in Portland, Oregon. But after just one semester, he drops out. He does not want to spend his parents' savings on courses he does not care about. But he stays near the campus for 18 months, sleeping on floors, eating free meals at a local temple, and sitting in on classes that interest him. One of those classes is calligraphy, the art of beautiful handwriting. Jobs later says this course changed everything about how he thought about design. 10 years later, the beautiful typography in the original Macintosh computer comes directly from what he learned in that calligraphy class. In 1976, Jobs and Wozniak co-found Apple Computer. We heard this story in the last episode. Jobs sees the business opportunity in Wozniak's technology and builds a company around it. The Apple II is a massive success. Apple goes public in 1980, and Steve Jobs, at 25 years old, becomes a multimillionaire. In 1984, Apple launches the Macintosh with one of the most famous television advertisements in history. The advertisement plays during the Super Bowl. It shows a gray, controlled world, and a woman who throws a hammer and breaks the screen. The message is clear: Apple will liberate you from conformity. The Macintosh is the first mass-market computer with a graphical interface and a mouse, ideas that came from Douglas Engelbart and were developed at Xerox PARC. Jobs had visited Xerox PARC years earlier and immediately understood the potential of what he saw. He brought those ideas to Apple and made them beautiful. But in 1985, Steve Jobs is forced out of Apple by the board of directors, the people who run the company. He is 30 years old. He has just been pushed out of the company he created. Most people would be destroyed by this. Jobs is not. He starts a new computer company called Next. He buys a small animation studio from director George Lucas and transforms it into Pixar. In 1995, Pixar releases Toy Story, the world's first fully computer-animated feature film. It is a massive success. Pixar becomes one of the most celebrated studios in Hollywood. Meanwhile, Apple is struggling. Without Jobs, the company loses its direction. It launches too many products. None of them are focused. None of them are beautiful. By 1997, Apple is close to bankruptcy. Then Apple buys Next, Jobs' company, and Jobs returns to Apple. What happens next is one of the greatest comebacks in the history of business. Jobs immediately simplifies everything. He cancels most of Apple's products. He focuses the company on just 4 things and demands that each one be perfect. In 1998, Apple launches the iMac, a colorful, all-in-one computer that looks unlike anything on the market. It becomes a cultural phenomenon. In 2001, Apple opens its first retail stores, a completely new concept in technology retail, and launches the iPod, a music player that puts 1,000 songs in your pocket. In 2003, Apple launches the iTunes Store, a legal way to buy individual songs online for 99 cents each. It transforms the music industry. And then, on January 9, 2007, Steve Jobs walks onto a stage in San Francisco and says, "Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything." He is holding the first iPhone. The iPhone is not just a phone. It is a touchscreen computer in your pocket. It replaces the keyboard with a screen you touch directly with your fingers. It has the internet. It has email. It has maps. It has music. It has a camera. And it has an app store, a marketplace where anyone can build and sell software for the iPhone. The iPhone changes everything. It creates the modern smartphone industry. It creates the app economy. It changes how billions of people communicate, work, and live. In 2010, Jobs launches the iPad, creating an entirely new category of device between a phone and a laptop. By 2011, Apple has become the most valuable company in the world. But Steve Jobs is sick. He has been battling pancreatic cancer since 2003. On October 5, 2011, Steve Jobs dies at the age of 56. The world stops. People leave flowers outside Apple stores on every continent. Steve Jobs did not invent the computer. He did not invent the smartphone. He did not write the code. What he did was look at technology and ask, can this be beautiful? Can this be simple? Can this change how people live? And the answer, every time, was yes. Let's review today's 9 key words. Design, the way something looks and works. Jobs believed design was not decoration. It was the product itself. Intuitive, easy to use without instructions. Jobs insisted that Apple products should be so intuitive that anyone could use them immediately. Launch, to introduce a new product publicly. Jobs turned every Apple product launch into a theatrical event that the whole world watched. Ecosystem, products and services that work together. Apple's ecosystem, iPhone, iPad, Mac, iTunes, App Store, made each product more valuable. Revolutionary, causing a complete transformation. The iPhone was not just a better phone. It was a revolutionary device that changed the entire mobile industry. Comeback, returning to success after failure. Jobs was forced out of Apple in 1985 and returned in 1997, making one of the greatest comebacks in business history. Simplify, to make something less complicated. Jobs' design philosophy was built on simplification. Remove everything unnecessary, and what remains will be perfect. Presentation, a formal talk to explain or promote something. Jobs' product presentations were studied by business schools and designers around the world. Legacy, what a person leaves behind. Jobs' legacy is everywhere, in the phone in your pocket, in the apps you use, in the way technology looks and feels today. That is the story of Steve Jobs, the man who asked technology to be beautiful. A college dropout who changed 5 industries: personal computers, animated films, music, phones, and tablet computing. A man who was fired from his own company and came back to make it the most valuable in the world. Today's phrase to remember is, think different. Think different was Apple's advertising slogan under Jobs, but it was also his personal philosophy. See the world not as it is, but as it could be. Repeat after me. Think different. One more time. Think different. In the next episode, we meet Linus Torvalds, a Finnish student who built an operating system in his bedroom, shared it with the world for free, and changed the internet forever. Your question for today in English: what is your favorite Apple product and why? Or if you prefer, what do you think of Steve Jobs? Hero or complicated figure? Write your answer in the comments. See you in episode 17. This is Charles, and this is English Podcast and Tech.